Welcome, welcome, welcome. Those I'm just letting in, if you want to drop in the chat where you're tuning in from, we're getting started here very shortly. Thank you all for being here tonight. Welcome, welcome. I don't think I've ever seen the map that full. This is crazy. Welcome, welcome, everyone.
Can my daughter and I be on the same one, or like she registered, but we're sitting right next to each other?
Yes, of course.
Okay, because she might just hang up because we have the computer right here.
Oh my gosh, of course, share. I
Okay,
love that.
well, she registered, so she's a Kappa.
Amazing. Thank you for both being here together
Sure,
too.
sure.
Hey, let me admit some more people from the
Well, that's
waiting
kind of
room.
fun to see where everyone is from. That actually is cool.
I know this map, there's some doubles in some areas too. Got people near each other. We're gonna have to examine that here shortly. Hey, welcome, welcome. Okay, I feel like this might be a good time to start and get this kicked off because we have a very fun and full evening ahead of us with Libby. I'll let people start to continue to trickle in, but I'm going to get started here because I know that we want to get kicked off and meet Livy here shortly. So, welcome everyone. We're so excited you're here for tonight's Flourish event. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you've attended Flourish before, thank you for spending your evening with us. Tonight, we're exploring the fascinating world of color analysis with our special guest, Libby Vinylek. You'll learn how to understand your natural coloring can help simplify shopping, build confidence in your wardrobe, and make getting dressed a little bit easier every day. We'll also get a behind the scenes look at the process with a live color analysis of our volunteer Maddie from Dublin, Ohio. Our program may run just a few minutes beyond our usual hour so that we have plenty of time for Libby's presentation, the live analysis, questions from you guys, and a giveaway. If you need to hop off around 9, we completely understand. We're so glad you could spend part of your evening with us. Before we get started, we just want to give a quick thank you to our dues paying alumna. Your continued support makes Flourish programming like tonight possible, allowing us to create opportunities to learn, connect, and grow together. And yes, we'll be giving away a virtual mini color analysis with Libby at the end of tonight's event. The official giveaway terms and conditions are available on the event listing of the Kappa website. Now you'll need to be present to win, so if we call your name, be sure to let us know in the chat or you can unmute yourself. Before we dive in, let's get warmed up and see where everybody's tuning in from. I know you guys can all see this map. And this is a crazy looking map. So just drop in the chat where you're joining us from tonight. It can be your city or state. And I mean, we can already see that we have sisters near and far. I've never seen this many just also near other people. Like we have Alex in Omaha, and there's another person in Omaha I want to see. Cindy. Cindy's also in Omaha. Hello, welcome. Welcome, everyone. We have Kathy in Denver. We have Gates in Wichita. Who's here in Louisville? Samantha. Hi, Peyton in Traverse City. Libby in Minneapolis. Hello. Hello, Julia Campbell in Toronto. Hello, Jennifer in New York. Oh my goodness, I don't even know who to choose. There's so many names. Hi, Brianna in Georgia. We have Claudette in Amarillo. Who's out here on the West Coast? Hi, Brooke in Newport Beach. Hello, Rosanna in Sacramento. Laura, San Francisco. This is so exciting. There's so many people to choose from. Hi, Mitzi in Houston. There's four other ladies in Houston. I see Kelly, Elizabeth, Haley, Sarah. Hello. Welcome. Lee in Hattiesburg. Welcome. Welcome, Jennifer in Tallahassee. Karen in Panama City. Donna in Knoxville. Oh my goodness, Karen in Tampa. Y'all, there are so many people on this map. This is so exciting. Welcome, welcome, everyone. We're so happy that you're here. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the host of the evening. It is Miss Libby Vinylek, a sister from Virginia Tech. She is based in Columbus, Ohio, where she combines her background in fashion merchandising with more than 15 years of training experience to help clients discover the colors that naturally complement them through personalized color analysis rooted in color science. When she's not in her studio, you'll probably find her facilitating workshops, baking sourdough, quilting, or keeping up with her 3 kids. We're so grateful she's spending the evening with us, and we cannot wait to learn from her. Now, before we hand things over, Libby, we wanted to share a quick snapshot of what color palettes we have in the room tonight. At registration, we asked, what season do you think you are? 10.6% think they're a spring, 17.3% think they're a summer, 17.7% think they're an autumn, 14.1% think they're a winter, and then we have 40.3% who are not sure, and that's why they're here. We love seeing such a mix, and it looks like quite a few of you are here because you're hoping to finally figure it out. You're definitely in the right place. Libby, everyone is very excited to learn from you tonight. I'm gonna pin you and let you share your screen because the floor is all yours.
Oh my goodness, Sophie, thank you so much for such a warm welcome and seeing so many faces and names that I know. This feels like a Kappa reunion. I was having a lot of FOMO seeing all the pictures from convention a few weeks ago. So this is filling my Kappa cup back up. So hello, I'm Libby Vinalek from Columbus, Ohio. Give me one moment while I share my screen. I need to share. Here we go. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, great. I'm here in my studio, and I do have Maddie Stone and Sarah Gray, two of our other headquarters staff with me. So I'll give them a little like, hello, hello. Sarah's on deck as well on the computer with just a lot of technology support. So I'll be sitting for this part, and then we'll have a little switcheroo. I'll have Maddie come sit in the hot seat, and we'll change cameras so that you'll have the opportunity to watch a live mini analysis. So without further ado, let's talk color. Give me one moment. There we go. Okay. So a little bit about me. I am a mom of 3 kids. My oldest is a 7. Summer is about to be 6. She's 5 right now, but is very sure to tell everyone she's 5.5. And Griffin, my youngest, is 2. I have an apparel merchandising management degree from Virginia Tech, where I was initiated into the Zeta Mu chapter. I joke that this is actually the first time that I've been able to really utilize my fashion degree. I went to I'm a ground instructor for flight attendants in my big girl day job. I work for an aviation company called NetJets, if you're familiar with it, in Columbus, Ohio. So I train our flight attendants. But I worked at Kappa headquarters for many years. That's actually what brought me to Columbus. 15 years ago, last month, I moved myself out here and interned that summer down at 530 East Town Street, our old headquarters, and met my husband that summer. And here we are 15 years later. So this feels very full circle to be here. Um, and, I worked at Kappa for many years. I left after having my oldest. I've done some other work, but I've always essentially been a trainer, or I really joke that I'm a paid yapper. I'm just paid to talk. The girl who talks too much in class in her report cards. This is what you do when you grow up. You get paid to talk. So I do facilitation and training in my full daytime job, and then I taught color on the side. So I launched the color coordinator here in Columbus last November. I want to be clear, this is actually not my company. Our founder, Elizabeth, is also a Kappa, and she was a friend of mine from here in Columbus, and she lives now in Indianapolis. She launched the color coordinator almost 3 years ago, and was looking to expand her business. And I was like, I am so interested in this, and have been through her training, and I'm helping her kind of build this business on the side. And so I launched her Columbus location last November. So I've been open, 8 or 9 months so far, and it's been really fun. It's just like a nice, yeah. So people are like, oh, you have a second job,
There's a
and
lady
how do you have
who's
time
a
for all of
color
this?
consultant.
Oh, but this is fun. Like I can kind of turn my brain off and do something really fun, and just make people feel good about themselves. Like that at the end of the day, nothing makes me feel better than someone like, I never thought I'd look good in these colors. And then they are glowing by the end of our time together. And they walk out feeling empowered, encouraged, or firm in that what they already kind of knew, but they weren't sure. So let's get into it. My clicker is not working. So here we go. Okay. So what is, here we, yes, what is color theory? So a framework that helps determine which colors harmonize your individual natural features. It's based on the idea that everybody has a combination of warm or cool undertones and varying levels of contrast that align with 4 main seasonal palettes, but we go into more nuance than that. And so each season is even further divided into subcategories. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but just kind of first blush, that is what color theory is. I'm so sorry. We're going to pause for a moment. My clicker is not working and I want to make sure that, here we go. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to click through like this. Okay, here we go. So color theory is a foundational art and science of how colors interact, including the color wheel, which you're all familiar with, Roy G. Biv, and harmony and contrast. So how colors look together when they're stacked against other colors. Color theory was actually founded by Sir Isaac Newton, which I think is so fascinating because he's known for many other things. And he figured out colors by holding up a prism to a sunbeam, and realizing, if you see in that picture on the slide, that one white beam actually turns into an entire rainbow of colors. And so that's really where all this came about from. And now, of course, that research has been refined over the last several hundred years. But again, I'm going to give him credit where credit is due. So color analysis is we're taking that color theory to evaluate how different colors interact with your specific hair, skin, and eye tones and determine which colors naturally flatter you, which make you glow, make you look like maybe you have makeup on or make your lips look really good. I have some great stories to share about that later on, or why some colors make you look really drab and tired, or sullen, or my favorite is sickly Victorian child. We don't want to look like that. And so knowing what colors can do that and what colors can really make us glow, that there's a lot of power in that information and knowledge. So color analysis was really started out by a woman named Carol Jackson. She wrote a book in 1980 called Color Me Beautiful. And if we've got some more seasoned ladies on this call, they might remember this from the 1980s of, oh my gosh, me and my girlfriends did this and I was a spring and I was a summer. But the system was only 4 seasons. So spring, autumn, winter, summer. So it didn't give enough flexibility for all shades and colorations. As we know, there's a spectrum of humans and skin tones and colors and eyes and hair. And so it was not exactly as encompassing as you'd want. It was pretty rigid and it just didn't give enough nuance for what people needed. So as you can see, this was from like the original book. It really didn't have a lot for anyone who maybe was not blonde hair, blue eyed. Okay, we've got a brunette and we've got an African American woman. And it's like, okay, well, what about everybody else? So over time, that has evolved and we've really dialed down into, okay, what are the differences between these seasons and what are the nuances within each season that can even be further divided? Well, so the process. When we are determining color, season, subseason, what we're going to be looking for, and I'm going to talk this through when I'm doing Maddie's analysis. First, we're going to look at your value of light versus dark, lighter colors versus darker colors, and how that interacts with your skin. We're going to look at chroma, which is bright and soft. Soft and light looks similar, but soft is where it's muted, or gray is mixed in, or maybe brown is mixed in. And so the bright chroma are like, I call them the Crayola crayon colors or the bathing suit colors. They're really fun and loud and have lots of pops of color. And then the more muted colors, which I feel like trending in fashion over the last decade or so, there's been a lot of muted colors, earthier tones. That's when you think of chroma, a soft chroma would be that. Then we go into undertone. Truly, nothing else matters if you don't know your undertone. So we'll talk a little bit about later on of that test of how can you figure out your own undertone or start to maybe dial that in. If you have a warmer, cool undertone, and that dictates really everything else, even makeup. I'm not going to talk about makeup tonight too much, but knowing your undertone can really help you understand what makeup is best for you. And then we're going to look at contrast. So are you a high, medium, or low contrast person? During each step, we are going to look for your skin clarity. Does it look bright or dull? Is it splotchy or clear? Does that bring out redness? Or does your skin look flawless just with that certain color next to you? Almost like you put on makeup. We're going to look at your eyes. Do they pop or do they kind of sink back? Your lips. What color are your lips? That's not always an indicator, but on certain people, especially for myself, I'm a warm undertone. Cool colors make my lips kind of turn grayish purple. I don't want that. I want them to look nice and pink and natural. And then jawline sometimes. We want a nice snatched jaw. So you've got a nice defined jaw, certain colors can make your jaw disappear and like your chin goes into your neck. We don't want that. So all of these things are what I look for when I'm looking at a client. And a lot of before and going back and forth. Sometimes some clients are tricky. I love a good challenge, and so sometimes it's a lot of back and forth, looking, comparing this to that, and sometimes it's very slight. It's not always really obvious, but I do love a good obvious one where it's like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing, and you go to the other one, it's like, whoa, like everything changes in an instant. All right, so value. When you have lighter features, you tend to look better in lighter colors. Now, this model here, I do want to point out, if you look at her hair, it's dyed significantly lighter than her natural color. However, if you look at the two pictures, the picture on the right where it's lighter, she looks a little washed out. The picture on the left with those darker colors, she has a little bit more brightness in her face, and she looks more balanced. I want people to look balanced versus like top heavy or bottom heavy with what you're wearing. So that client is a friend of Elizabeth's, our founder, and she's joked that she's like, we've had many come to Jesus conversations about her hair color, and she still dyes it a little bit lighter, but not as light as this, because really you want to stay within a few shades of your own natural color. And so then if deeper or more striking features tend to look better with darker colors. Then next is chroma. So that's where I was talking about a really clear, bright chroma, those highly saturated colors. I call them Crayola crayons. That's the picture on the right. Look how bright that is. But also look at this client's face. Look at how her skin looks a little bit splotchier. Her nose is a little bit darker almost. But then on the right, or sorry, on the left, the soft chroma, that muted fuchsia, it's more blended. Like her skin looks a little more clear. She looks more balanced. So that's just, and I promise these are the same exact person in the same exact lighting. These pictures have not been edited. I hear that all the time of like, well, you can edit that stuff. And I said, these are not. This is real time comparing two pictures of how one color versus another. Now the next one, this one is probably one of my favorites. This is undertone. So on the left is a cool undertone drape under this client. So if you have a cool undertone, your skin has subtle hints of pink, blue, or red. You usually look better in silver jewelry and can wear blues really nicely. Look how clear her face looks. Her eyes pop. She is wearing lip color in this picture, but again, look at like my eyes. When I look at that picture, I'm instantly drawn to her eyes. But then in contrast, the picture on the right, she almost looks orange because she does not have a warm undertone. She has a cool undertone. And her color is almost a little bit kind of sunken. Like her eyes don't pop. Her eyes are just kind of there. It's not bad, but when you compare it to the blue picture, she really comes alive. So with a warm undertone, for example, your skin has a more yellowy, golden, or peachy tone. You usually look better in gold jewelry, and you can wear orange and coral a lot better. So for this client right here, orange is probably off the table. Orange is not a cool color. So if you have a cool undertone, orange ain't it for you, unfortunately. However, I know that this is Kappa, and I joke that we were going to talk about more than just blue. And even myself being a warm spring, there's actually not really any blue in my true core subseason. Am I going to stop wearing blue? Absolutely not. I am not the color police, and no one is. So you can wear whatever you'd like. And sometimes you might know, I need to put a little more makeup on. I need to put more lipstick on. I know this color isn't my best, but I love this color or I love this dress. And so it's really just, this is information and guidance. It is not rule books. It's not gospel. So for undertone, if you want to test yourself, I'm going to challenge you to find a white t-shirt versus an off-white or ivory t-shirt, or maybe a cream shirt or cream bathrobe, duvet covered or something where you can hold both up to your face. You want to do this in natural light, and see what your face looks like. Maybe if you need to take a picture, have someone help you. Another way to determine is, do you burn or tan first? Typically, this is not a hard and fast rule, but if you are warm undertone, you tend to tan easier than you burn. If you have a cool undertone, you tend to burn a little bit easier. The vein test is unreliable. So I know a lot of people will come to me and say, well, my vein is this color. My veins are blue. So I've got to have a cool undertone. Well, I have a warm undertone and my veins look blue to me. So that's kind of an old wives' tale. I would not hold that true to truth. I would try some other tricks of, or going into a makeup store and trying a more corally orange lipstick versus like a berry lipstick. See what happens with both of those, and see, and hopefully there's a person there who might be able to help you out. Of just, I'm not sure what my undertone is. I kind of want to figure that out. And so trying different lip colors with one that's a cool and one that's a warm can really help you with that. All right, contrast. So the contrast this is twofold. Your coloring contrast, so the contrast between a person's eyes, skin, and hair influences which palette best suits them. So for example, I'm a medium low contrast. I've got green eyes, I've got olive skin, and dirty blonde, like light brown hair. So I don't have a lot of contrast within my own coloration. Therefore, what I wear also needs to be medium low contrast. So, for example, the dress that I'm wearing, I would say this is the medium low. The size of the print and the colors, there's some greens, there's some pinks, there's a little bit of purple in there. Excuse me. It doesn't overwhelm me. My best way to describe a high contrast outfit is something you would see at Anthropologie. I feel like they're famous for wild prints, large, loud colors, things that are really bright and bold, which can be really fun to wear. But that dress might be wearing you versus you're wearing it. And so, again, if you see something you love, buy it and wear it. But it might not be something I would have every day for my wardrobe or a staple piece. Would I do it for a fun event? Yes, absolutely. But knowing that sometimes those things can tend to swallow me up, that can be just good information for how do I want to stock my closet with tried and true pieces that I know are going to look good on me, that I'm going to feel good, and I'm going to be reaching for again and again. All right, so some examples of medium low contrast. So we've got Reese Witherspoon, Taylor Swift, which I on my color account, I follow a lot of other color analysts, and her name comes up very frequently of like, what is her actual season? And then Emma Stone. So she's got that gorgeous auburn hair. If you are a redhead, you cannot be cool undertoned. So if you have strawberry blonde hair, or maybe you're that deeper red like Emma Stone, you are a warm undertone biologically. That is a rule. Doesn't mean you can't wear blues, because blue and orange are contrasting colors. If you look at the color wheel, they're exactly apart from each other. So you can wear them, but that's that contrast piece. But just knowing, like looking at their colorations. Now let's look at some high contrast ladies. We've got Anne Hathaway. I always give the example of Anne Hathaway or Snow White. Very pale skin, dark eyes, or maybe she had like really icy blue eyes, but that dark hair, high contrast, like really light skin, darker features. Jennifer Lopez. She's probably more closer to medium, but she does have a darker skin tone, so that's where she can help onto that higher contrast. But I was doing some research on these ladies. Jennifer Lopez, she's probably a warm autumn or a deep autumn. Just again, she's got a lot of the brown hair, brown eyes, really beautiful brown skin. Halle Berry, she's probably a deep winter. Look at that red; it looks incredible on her. And then Viola Davis, look at that pewter dress she's wearing. Now, I will say her lip color, that leans a little bit orange. I wish it were a little bit more blue toned. I wish it maybe was like a red that hinted just a little bit blue. I think that to me, that lip color is a little bit off. Otherwise, she looks incredible. But when you think about high contrast people, that is what we're talking about. All right, so into the color wheel. We talked a little bit about this of the color wheel. So I would just want to ground us in when I say a warm color versus a cool color. What do I mean by that? So red, orange, yellow heading into green are warm colors. Cool colors, so you can have a cool red. When red is moving towards purple, it leans a little bit blue maybe. That is a cool color. All the blues and greens. my favorite colors are blue and green. I like my whole life is cool undertone, except for my own coloration. I joke. It was a rude awakening when I went through this analysis training and learned my own colors because I thought for sure I would be a cool winter, a cool summer. No, not at all. So it is okay to have a little disappointment when you find out your colors, but then it's just more knowledge into leaning into what does look good on me. And it's also the knowledge of that's why I never reach for that thing in my closet. That's why I never wear that. That's when I wear, I feel like, ugh, I don't feel great in it. And so knowing your colors can help identify maybe that's why you have some things hanging in your closet that just really aren't the best for you. So cool and warm colors. Again, there's even more nuances. This is very broad sweeping. You can have a warm purple. You can have a cooler yellow. A yellow that's maybe a little bit more muted or it has a little bit of a gray tone in it. But generally speaking, when we're talking about cool and warm colors. So there's no orange in the cool seasons because there's no orange on the cool side. But I did say that there is some blue that we can pull for warm seasons. All right. So we've got, hold on, hydration break. Thank you. So we've got our 4 main seasons: winter, autumn, spring, and summer, and they each have their own personalities. So winter is dark, cool, and bright. So those higher contrast ladies or gentlemen, this is for everybody, can it sometimes fall into winter. Autumn is dark, muted, and warm. So if you warm undertone, but you have darker features and those more muted colors look, earthier tones look best on you, you could be in autumn. Spring is light, bright, and warm. So lighter colors, brighter, not high contrast in terms of bright like winter is, but there is a little bit of that contrast that plays into it. And spring is also a warm season. And then summer is a cool season, but it's light and muted. So spring and autumn are complementary, and winter and summer are complementary. Within those seasons, we have those subseasons. So just like I was saying that spring is bright, warm, and light, that is each of its subseasons. And so as you can see, winter has dark winter, bright winter, and cool winter. Autumn has dark autumn, warm autumn, soft autumn. Summer is light summer, cool summer, soft summer. And on the image on the right, you'll see that some of them sit right next to each other. So bright winter and bright spring at the top, they have very similar palettes. When I go through Maddie's analysis, I will show you those drapes and you'll be able to see how similar they are, but one has warmer colors and one has cooler colors. Same for light spring, light summer, soft summer, soft autumn, and then dark autumn, dark winter. So we call those sister seasons. Your sister season is also the ones that sit on either side. So for example, I'm a true spring, warm spring. So I can borrow some colors from bright spring. I can borrow some colors from light spring. And then I can also borrow some colors from true autumn because that sits directly across. And autumn is also a warm season. So no one ever fits in a box. So you can, through a full analysis, which we don't have time for tonight, but when we go through every single color and all these traits, we're able to cherry pick other colors that look incredible on someone. And if you have a chance to visit my Instagram, you'll see those big rainbow drapes that we do. We do that at the end of a full analysis. And that's where we kind of pick all these different colors that look incredible on each client. And everyone's a little bit different. All right. Oh gosh, we're right at 8:30, which is perfect. So I grabbed the questions that Sophie, thank you so much, Sophie, for collecting those, the questions that some of you submitted during registration. And I'm just going to do a rapid fire through all of these because they were all so good. And I tried to weave in some of them throughout the presentation, but I thought, you know what, if one person asked it, other people are also probably curious. So first up, does your season change as you age? No, not really. Your coloration might change a little bit. Gray hair, of course, we call it the aging process. But going gray or your hair does not really change your palette. However, it does change how you have to approach colors. Softer colors might be better versus more bright chroma. I did have a client recently who ended up being a warm spring, but she had silver gray hair because she had gone gray. And so we talked about perhaps maybe having her hair highlighted a little bit to help balance that out because you have this very cool coloring as your hair, but really her skin needed that warmth and bright that spring offered. So it's more just knowing what looks best. And that's where you might need to lean into some highlights or some hair dye to help balance that out, especially right as our bodies are aging and changing, and that's where nature kind of does its own thing instead of following the coloration that we have from our DNA. Next question. Do summer tans or seasonal changes affect your results, or is your season permanent? Yes, your season is permanent because your undertone does not change. So whether you're more tan or more pale, your undertone is your undertone. So being a warm undertone, black and white look terrible on me, but I actually do wear them in the summer because I'm more tan. And I feel like I can hold my own a little bit better with white and black. But in the winter, whoa, terrible. There's curiosity around determining your season, including how to identify your undertone. We talked about that. The vein test, that's not accurate. Um, can someone fall between seasons or have a subseason? So yes, everybody has their own subseason, but then, like I said, you can borrow from each of those other sister seasons that sit on either side. And color analysis evolving since the 1980s and 90s. It's just gotten more sophisticated. We've gotten better at identifying, and the training materials for teaching those of us who do this of how to show and teach clients what colors look best on them. And the fact that I use a 12 season system. There are some analysts that use a 16 season system, which to me gets a little splitting hairs. I think 12 is kind of the sweet spot, at least for my practice. And so having a lot more options for people to find things that really look incredible for you. All right. How does having gray hair impact your season? We talked about that. Choosing between gold and silver jewelry. So we talked about that, your undertone. If you have a warm undertone, gold is going to look best on you. If you have a cool undertone, silver is best. However, ladies, if it has a diamond, the metal doesn't matter. Okay. That's really the true rule. Picking flattering colors for eyeglasses. I love this question. Thank you, whoever submitted that. This is where I would lean into your best neutrals. So during a full analysis, we talk about neutrals, which neutrals are best. If you have a warm undertone, tan, camel could be great. If you have a cool undertone, like maybe smoke, gray, tortoiseshell. Tortoiseshell can have a lot of different variations. There could be some more gray tortoiseshell that would be great for a cool undertone versus the brownish, yellowish ones for a warm undertone. Or if you really like fun colors, pick a color from your palette and get some frames in that, and that can be your really fun pop of color. Whether hair should be complementing of your season. Yes. I was just telling the ladies here before we went live that before several years ago, I had my hair done balayage, but it was an ashy blonde, and I looked horrible. I looked sick and kind of gray and washed out because, again, I have a warm undertone. I can't wear those ashy gray tones. I really need something that's golden, honey, that really complements my skin tone. Shopping for clothing by season and any resources you recommend. Once you have your colors done and you are like, I don't like any, I didn't know I liked any of these colors, or maybe I'm unsure about them and you're feeling maybe a little anxious, or I've had people who are really disappointed with their season. They're like, I don't like these colors at all. And I'm like, that is a fair and valid response. However, I encourage them, this is where you should go thrifting. Go to the thrift store. Bring your palette with you if it's a swatch book or whatever printout you have, whatever information you have, and buy a few pieces in that new color palette that's new to you and try them out. To me, that's low risk, low cost. You've already spent all this money on having an analysis done. The last thing you want to do is spend more money on clothes that you don't really love and you're unsure of. It is okay to not like all the colors in your season. There are colors in my season I don't like, so I just don't wear them. Again, this is information and guidance. It is not rules. So, but to me, that's a very low risk way of trying a new color, or maybe borrowing something from a friend. Hey, you have that sweater in that color that I found is actually really good for me. Can I borrow it? Can I try it on? That can be another way. So dipping your toe into some colors or a palette that maybe you're unsure of or you aren't familiar with, those are some best ways to do that. And last question, why some people receive compliments when wearing colors that are technically outside their season? I have a few answers for this. First, people love a pop of color. Even if that's a bright, high chroma color and maybe you're like a soft summer, but it's fun. It's pleasing to the eye. A bright color is fun. We all love bright colors. So that could be why. Another reason is it could match your eyes. So I have green eyes. I love dark jewel tones, so I do wear them a lot and I get a lot of compliments on them. I have this pine green sweater that I wear in the winter and I get compliments on it all the time. It does match my eyes. It's very dark and heavy for my complexion though. And so I wear a little ivory, like kind of undershirt that has a ruffle collar to kind of break that up. And I just know I need to put on a little more blush, a little more lipstick, and I call it a day. So there could be a variety of reasons because, or they're just complimenting the color versus how the color looks on you, which are two different things. So, and one more thing on that note, going back to feeling disappointed about maybe finding your colors, or I love these colors and none of them are in my palette. I'm like, you can love those colors. Those colors don't love you. Uh, but other ways that you can enjoy them, shoes, get a pair of sneakers in them. What about a purse or a scarf, like a backpack, your bag, other way of your phone case. Like there are so many other ways you can enjoy that color without wearing it. So that's also where I give people permission to. I'm like, try it with something else. Like lean into that color that's nowhere near in your palette, and then and then through that analysis, you realize, wow, that color does really make me look pretty sick and tired. How else can I enjoy that color in my life? Is it your Stanley water bottle? Again, like there could be so many ways you can infuse that color into your life that isn't in your wardrobe. So with that, that's all I have for how to find me. So our website is thecolorcoordinator.com. Our main account, the color coordinator, that's our founder Elizabeth. She's located in Indianapolis. I'm here in Columbus, so I'm the color coordinator _ Columbus. My email is there. If you're welcome to send me an email if you have questions, but I'm going to open up the floor we can do some quick questions now if there's a few, Sophie, and then we'll go right into Maddie's analysis because I know we're already at almost 8:40. So
I think you're good to switch over. We have the Q&A for right after your analysis, so people have time to tinker on their ideas and questions if that's good with you.
perfect. Okay, great. All right. Give us a moment. I'm going to sign off of here and get us situated over with the other side. Okay. And leave the meeting. Sophie, can you hear me on this?
Yes, I can.
You can?
Yes.
Okay. Give me one moment. I want to get my AirPods clicked in. Sophie, can you speak one more time?
Yes. Hi, Libby.
Perfect. There we go. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to start video. Okay. Here we go. All right. There we go. Sophie, you let us know how that looks. Is that good?
Yes, Maddie looks perfect.
Okay. That look good? Okay. Awesome. All right. Will you scoot up actually just a little bit so I have a little bit more space back here? Okay. All right. Sarah, one more time. We look good. We're ready to rock and roll. Okay.
Okay.
All right. First things first, I'm going to put a white drape on.
Okay.
Now, Maddie has no makeup on. So that is really important for part of this process that whoever the client is, we don't have any makeup on. And we want to make sure that, skin is totally clear. I always ask about hair color. It looks like Maddie's hair color is natural. No dye. You have beautiful hazel eyes. And then I also like to ask, are there any colors you love to wear other than blue and blue?
Dark green
Okay.
and like maroon. Yeah.
Ooh, dark green, maroon. Okay,
But
great.
really dark green. Love
Any colors that you don't like to wear?
it. Like pale yellow. I
Mm.
that does not look good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. All right. Let's get started. Okay. So like I said, we start with light versus dark. what we're going to be looking for with each of these, we're going to look at her face. Now, Maddie, this is not to point out any flaws. You have beautiful skin, but I will point out sometimes maybe if there's like some dark circles under your eyes or some discoloration. And so, again, I always say like, this is not for me to pick out anybody's flaws, but it's for you to see. And this is educational as well. I want you to learn what we're looking for so that you're able to notice it on yourself. So first we're not looking at any individual color. We're just looking at light colors overall. So light.
Yeah.
And then we're going to switch to dark.
Okay.
Maybe somewhere in the middle.
Maybe. I feel like my bags look a little darker with this.
Maybe a little bit. But I think you look more balanced. You love that color. Okay. But you look kind of washed out here. Do you see that now?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we go back and forth a few times of like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I see a little more balance there. So it's not always this or that. It's a spectrum. So I feel like a detective a little bit in this process where each step is giving me a clue to kind of guide me towards where we're going to end up. Now we're going to look at soft versus, I'm going to pull this back. I want to just give an example. Soft versus bright. So soft, where we talk about those muted colors, different than light. I'm going to show the difference here. So when you have light, see how it's that color with white mixed in versus with gray mixed in. Even look at these purples. Look how muted that is versus how bright, especially the yellows. It's a lot more apparent. The orange as well, like how like that like dustier color versus that brighter color. So when we talk about soft, it's not light, it's muted. So we have these soft colors. And now we're going to look at bright. You see under your eyes.
Yes, I sure do.
I don't, and so here's the other thing about doing this virtually is sometimes sometimes it comes through video and the screens, sometimes it does not. So I always say you got to trust the drapes. And so if you see a color analysis online, you're like, I don't totally agree with that, but like you weren't in the room looking at it. So I hope you're able to pick up on some of these things. We have a beautiful model here though. So if you're not able to kind of pick up on it, it can be a little bit difficult through the digital screen. So, but we're looking at these soft ones. Again, I'm going to watch under your eyes specifically.
Yeah. Just
Tired.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I call these are those bright Crayola crayon colors. I call them the bikini colors, the bathing suit colors. They are fun to wear. Get a bathing suit in this. Or another one is athletic workout gear. If there's a color you love that's not in your palette, get something some workout gear that in that color. I'm sorry, I'm going to take off my earrings. I can hear them clicking against my AirPods, and I hope that's not coming through on the audio. So, oh, please, there we go. Okay, so far to review, we liked dark more than light, and we liked soft more than bright. Now we're going to look at undertone. And I asked Maddie before. Maddie is not sure what her undertone is, so we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, we've got our warm undertone. Okay. And now we're going to look at cool.
Brings my bags out again.
Do you see how all the color just fell out of your face?
Mm-hmm.
There's no color in your cheeks.
Yeah.
You look tired. Maybe you just had the flu.
Yep.
Like, we don't want that. We don't want that. You're just like, if you had a cool undertone, your eyes would look brighter.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't look tired like this. But your skin looks brighter. There's more color in your skin. Are you seeing that though? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I see it really in the bags under my eyes. That's fair.
No bags.
Yeah.
But that's the power of knowing what colors look great on you and what don't, because some colors are going to pull that out even just by what you're wearing. So if you're having like, oh man, I'm feeling really tired today, you got to wear a pop of color that's in your palette that's going to make you look amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So she's got a warm, then We do have our neutral drape, which I typically don't pull out for mini analysis, but we didn't talk about this earlier, and I want to make sure that I cover it. So no one is ever just a neutral undertone. You can be cool neutral or warm neutral. It's a spectrum, but no one ever sits exactly in the middle. You're always kind of teetering on one side, or you're truly a cool undertone versus a warm undertone. So looking at these, I don't love these on you more than, here we go. Like I feel
Wait, can you flip back one more time?
absolutely.
I love pink too.
You love
but
pink.
I
That's
love
okay.
pink, yeah.
Wear it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not the color police. You love pink though. What about blue?
I love blue too.
Okay, good. Good.
Pink, like green. But I had lots of pink purses.
There you go. Sneakers, hair tie, scrunchie. Yes. So many other ways to enjoy that color. Okay, so now we're going to look at metals. So being a warm undertone, gold is going to be it for you.
Right.
Let me put this here. So we've got, this is our champagne gold, which is really pretty.
Mhm.
And then we've got this brass color, which is really beautiful on you with your hazel eyes and your hair. Like, I think you look amazing. Like you in a slinky dress for that, for like a wedding, like
Go.
pull out that like flamenco emoji girl. Now let's watch what happens when we go to silver.
Oh, the color kind of goes.
All the color went out of your face. Here, we'll do that again for all of our friends online. Look at her cheeks, has a nice warm flush. She has no makeup on. And then deflated like a balloon. Just womp womp. And then we're gonna get maybe a little bit worse with this gunmetal. But on a cool undertone, this color looks incredible. And so when sometimes going through this, people are like, oh my gosh, like this color, I'm like, on the right person, it looks incredible. So we've got this gunmetal here, which just it's not doing a lot for you.
No.
So, but then we have rose gold. So we've got this apricot, which I really don't see this a lot in metals.
Okay.
But when you think about maybe something in apricot color, maybe even something a little bit deeper than this could be really pretty. And then rose gold works for everyone.
Hello, darling.
So,
All right.
so that's really cool.
Well,
is that
I just got home a few minutes
I,
ago and I put my drops
I think
in
someone
and
needs to mute
I had
themselves.
my
Friends.
adjustment, so I'm really
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so rose gold works for everyone. Where you can have rose gold for cool undertone and warm undertone. I have only had one or two people where I really truly did not like how rose gold looked on them. I think rose gold looks amazing on you. This would be a really pretty colored dress. Taking notes over there, Sarah? Okay, great. Sarah, our production assistant, Sarah. All right, now we're gonna look at contrast. So we have these checkerboards. So on here, we've got our cool side and our warm side. So we'll look at both, but this is the side we're gonna be focusing on since we've determined that she has a warm undertone. So what I'm looking for here is, where is my eye drawn first? Do I see her, or does my eye go to this pattern first and then I see her? So high contrast kind of swallows you up a little bit.
Mhm.
Like
You're looking at that.
Yep.
Yep.
Now let's go to a medium contrast. So we've got these kind of more cream, like an ivory maybe, or a camel and a brown. Do you wear a lot of brown?
That I want to wear. I feel like that looks nice on me. So I
Okay.
would like.
Okay. Wonderful. And then here's this cool undertone, which is, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just there. But I think this like really harmonizes with you. So that's our medium contrast. Now we have two different drapes for our low contrast. We have dark and light. So for our dark, now these are more tone on tone, which are really easy to wear for everyone because they're tone on tone, especially these darker colors. Oh, look, blue and blue, yay. Navy blue is the universal neutral. So I always say, I'm like, black can be really harsh on a lot of people, especially for those of us who are lighter skinned, our Caucasian ladies. So navy is honestly so much more forgiving. But yeah, tone on tone, And then you said you like maroon a lot?
I do.
Yeah. So that is so pretty.
Yeah.
And then we've got these lighter low contrast. So I don't love these as much on you. So we've got here we go, more blue and blue, but these lighter cornflower, sky blue. And then this, I call it the banana palette.
Yeah.
Not
Yellow was
not so much, not so much, but being a warm undertone, like yellow can be your friend, but the right shade of yellow.
Yeah.
So let's keep that in mind. Maybe not these, but other ones. All right. So we're going to start with where you're not. I like to start with the worst first, and then we get to the best. So this part of the process is we are going to look at each of our seasonal drapes and just kind of see how we feel about. Now, this is like kind of an overview of each season. I'll pull some out. So when I talk about these sister seasons and some overlapping, you'll start to see that. So we're going to start with light summer.
Okay.
Summer is a cool, soft, and light season. It is soft though. And remember, we like softer colors on you, but you're not a cool undertone. You're a warm undertone. So that's why I start with where you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So I call this one of the Easter egg palettes.
Yes.
Usually are blonde ladies, fair skin. Taylor Swift is probably either a light summer, a light spring, or a warm spring. That's I think she has a warm undertone. I would probably peg her as maybe warm spring, but anyway, she can pull off some of these lighter colors really well. Then we have cool summer, which is the darkest of all the summer seasons. Kind of these lighter jewel tones almost. So we've got navy in there, but all cooler colors, all ones that lean blue on some level. Are they pretty? Absolutely. Like these are some of my favorite colors, but again, wear them anyway.
Yeah.
But they're just there. I don't feel like you're harmonizing or you're really glowing or singing.
Yeah.
And then we've got soft summer. Better. I think it's better, but we're still. Yeah. Especially this color, especially with your eyes. So yes, like even that's where if we did a full analysis and I went through all these color drapes, I would probably pull out with that one, be like, okay, let's look at that one. But let's look at some of these greens. So okay. So we started with summer. Now we're going to go to spring. Spring is a warm undertone, warm season. However, it is light and bright. So we've got light spring, which if you notice how light spring and light summer are very similar, but notice the green specifically, more blue, more yellow. There's orange in here. There's no orange in any of the cool seasons. Even the yellows, almost leans a little bit more like stark, like bluer versus kind of this more like banana yellow. So just for our friends online, just when you're looking at some of these colors, noticing, especially for green, is it a more yellow green or is it more blue green? I'm seeing for purple, does it lean more pink? Does it lean more blue? So we have our light spring, so our other Easter egg palette, not so much. Warm spring, we're getting brighter. A little overwhelming for you.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. This is my season.
Okay.
I was very shocked when I was like this, even this like chartreuse lime. I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I will stick to my pine, my turquoise. So, but it has challenged me to lean into more oranges, corals, watermelon, and knowing the right red. So for a warmer undertone, you want something that leans a little bit more like chili red. So I know our friends online can't see it, but my phone case is like the perfect kind of red versus like a cooler red that leans a little more blue, a little more tomato. So then we've got bright spring. This is high contrast. So not for you.
No,
it's the bathing suit color. It's really overwhelming for a lot of us. Typically someone with like more maybe darker hair, blue eyes, could fall into this. So the hazel eyes, the hazel eyes really, it's okay. Now we're gonna look at winter. Winter is high contrast. cool, dark, bright. So we've got these pretty jewel tones, which honestly is a lot of my own closet come winter time. I've come to terms with that. This blue specifically, this cobalt blue, I've always loved blue, even before I joined Kappa. To be clear, I've always loved blue, and so several years ago, I was like, I want a fun blue winter coat, like a nice wool winter coat. I got one from J. Crew. I bought it on eBay because they didn't have a color that I liked sold in line, and it comes, and I'm like so excited about it, and then I can like never figure out how to wear it. Every outfit, it just like never feels right. Now, granted, my other two winter coats are black and gray, which are also not in my palette, but that's neither here nor there. And I was like, why can't I figure out how to wear this jacket? Like I love blue. I wanted like a fun pop of color. And now I know, being a warm spring, that color looks horrible on me. So I really need to just sell it, Poshmark it, thank it for its time in my house, taking up space in my closet, and get something that's maybe like a heathered light blue or a heathered oatmeal, like maybe a corally pink for a winter coat. So that's where like this knowledge has helped me understand, why are there things in my closet that I never reach for or that I just never feel good in. So dark winter, better,
Yeah.
but a little dark for you.
Yeah.
These ones are okay.
Okay.
Cool winter. Again, they're these jewel tones. Yeah. Very bright and overwhelming. Yes. Very high contrast for bright winter. So
Okay.
really, you gotta hold your own to wear these. So doesn't do much. Yes. It can be very overwhelming. Now let's look at autumn,
Right.
which was your guess. Maddie guessed before we asked, and I love, Sophie, thank you. I love that you asked people online what their guesses were. I love that we kind of had a nice even distribution between the four seasons, and then several people were like, I want to know what my colors are. So let's look at autumn. It's soft, it's warm, and it's dark.
That looks better.
I love this one on you. This is really beautiful on you. These softer colors, more muted, that green especially.
Yeah.
Let's look at true autumn. Feels a little bright,
A little bit.
little bright, but there's some of those, like kind of more those cranberry. Oh, and we have another color in the other one. Do you ever wear orange?
No, but I like the one.
This is a really bright orange.
I like that orange.
Yes, this more muted one. It's a little burnt orange. For all my Hokies online, this is a perfect Hokie orange. This is like Tennessee. This is like balls. So for our Tennessee ladies, this is your orange here. And then we've got dark autumn. So see how they're earthier colors. Brown.
Yeah.
That's purpley, but it has like almost brown mixed in. It's this color. It's called raisin. I love this color for autumns. This could be a really nice dark neutral for you. So these are a little dark and heavy. We're going to look through these again for all of our friends online, but I love this soft autumn on you. I think this is so pretty on you. Now, I always give the caveat with a mini analysis. I cannot always promise finding someone's subseason without further analysis. I can always find someone's main season of summer, winter, spring, autumn, but most of the time I can find their subseason. Not always. Sometimes they're really on the line, and I'm like, I would need more time and to go through all of our drapes to can determine, really nail it where they would be. But I feel pretty good about soft autumn being your subseason, but definitely autumn, because a lot of these colors make you sing. I mean, this makes your eyes pop. Do you see that?
No.
I think your eyes are glowing right now. Like they look so pretty. Like when I look, like that's what I'm drawn to more than anything else. But that's what you want. Like I want some, like some new colors to try out. Yes. And even some of these darker ones. So like,
But I feel like my eyes, I don't know.
It's a little heavy.
It is. Okay, yeah, I can see
So
that.
that's where it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's on a scale of good, better, best. Is this good? Yes. Is this green, this other green?
Better.
Better. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that concludes our mini analysis. It went a little bit shorter because a lot of what I talked about during our presentation is usually what I'm sharing during an analysis and walking the client through some of that knowledge, some of what they're looking for. So Maddie,
Great.
for you, I have a little printout. So with anyone who comes, you get a nice autumn printout.
Perfect.
And so do you want to turn it around and actually show it to the screen? So on it, it's got several colors. It's got neutral. So we didn't talk about neutrals tonight too much. True navy is going to be your best friend. Black is going to be too harsh. And then browns.
Yeah.
So like a cappuccino, an espresso, camel, beige, tan, or it's going to look amazing on you. So
Cool.
yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Sophie, do we
Yay.
have?
I was gonna
Wow,
say,
we're right at 9 o'clock. I thought this was going to take longer, but I feel like, wow, I kind of nailed that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
this is perfect. Thank you so much, Libby. I'm so excited for you, Maddie. You were absolutely glowing during that.
I know
We're
she was.
We were thinking that we could just do the giveaway really quick just to make sure. And if anybody needs to hop off, we want to be respectful of everybody's
Absolutely.
time. So I'm going to
Sure.
share my screen so that we can do the giveaway. And
Okay.
I am extremely jealous of whoever is going to win this giveaway because it's your own virtual mini analysis with Lib
Yes.
that you have the chance to win. And so you just have to tell us in the chat what is one color you're excited to wear more of after learning everything from Libby and getting to listen to Maddie's analysis. And again, you will be able to win your own mini color analysis with Libby, and it will be virtual, and we'll get you all set up, and it will be awesome. And you'll also be her first virtual one, so that will be even better. Oh my
Yes,
goodness,
I've helped with
lots of
some, but this will be a first go around, which is really exciting because that is something that we do want to offer with our studio, but we just haven't made the kind of the leap yet.
I'm seeing lots of blues, mushroom taupe, softer greens, muted blue, fuchsia, navy, blue, raisin, orange, navy, lots of blue, which is totally the right answer. Um,
Absolutely, of course.
Loving all this. Thank you everyone for sharing your answers. I think this feels like the right moment to pull our winner. There's so many answers and so many good ones. Thank you everyone for participating. And again, you're gonna be in the chance to win a mini analysis. Erin Horak, are you here? You can message
I
or
am, yes.
Erin, congratulations.
Congratulations, Erin. Looking forward to
Thanks.
chatting with you.
Yes, me too.
Tomorrow, I will email you to confirm your email address and everything and get you and Libby connected so that we can get you this mini analysis. Thank you. Now, if anybody has any questions, I know there were a few in the chat that I'll make sure to pull up and make sure that they're still there. If you have to taper off your night, totally understand it. Otherwise, if anybody has any questions for Libby, this is now going to be our Q&A section of the evening. So, one of the questions that came through Libby is what's the difference between true summer and cool summer?
Ooh, great question. Difference, you know what? I'm going to pull out my drapes for this one. Difference between true summer and cool summer. Some color analysts who have a 16 season system have both cool and true summer. When I look at them, I think they are incredibly similar. And to me, for a client, I think that's confusing. So in my system, true and cool summer are the same thing. So cool summer and true summer, I use those words interchangeably. For me, it's the same. But for some analysts, depending on what system they're using, they're a little bit nuanced. But again, you when you look at it and you're like, wow, it's really like splitting hairs. And I would hate for a client to leave feeling confused or unsure about their results because there was something like, well, that one was really similar. And what's the difference with this? But I feel like with our system, you really can see, the differences between each season and subseason.
I know redheads, like this member that's asking, can wear yellow because sometimes, oh wait, I feel like I just messed up that question.
Mhm.
I know redheads like me are warm. Can we wear yellow? Because sometimes I know that that can clash with our paler skin.
Yes, absolutely. You can wear yellow. It depends on the right yellow. So let me pull some different yellows here. Maddie, we're gonna pretend you're a redhead. This is yeah. So we've got this like dandelion color. Let's look at this banana cream, which I love the names for some of these. And just for your all's knowledge, these names, we try to align them as much as we can with the Pantone color system, which Pantone is the, kind of the authority on color. So finding the right yellow for you, or maybe if you're more of an Emma Stone, she's probably a true autumn potentially. So look at like more of this mustard. So let's see, do I have any? Here we go. And then a dustier, maybe if you're a strawberry blonde or a really dusty, we have this like kind of goldenrod. So see all the variations of these yellows. So yes, you can wear yellow. I would really try and figure out which yellow is your best yellow, but yes,
Thank you. Another question
you're
is
welcome.
the presentation that you gave earlier, Libby, are we able to share with members after so that they can reference it themselves?
I believe you're recording it. So yes, if it's going to be recorded and shared on the Kappa website,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you're housing, or is it on my Kappa, the new platform you're launching very soon? Saw that email. Congrats. Yay.
It will be on the website tomorrow
Shame.
and in the wrap-up email, so you'll be able to
Perfect.
reference it. Is there any good apps that you know of that help with color analysis?
Oh my gosh. I should have addressed this. Yeah, the people, I love when someone comes in like, well, I did chat GPT, and the short answer is no, because here's why. They're looking just at a picture where the lighting could be off. You could be wearing makeup. What are you wearing? This is why I put a white drape on. Even some color analysis go as far as putting a white like coat on. I feel pretty confident in my abilities to judge someone's skin by ignoring what I'm wearing. I don't think there's any apps that are really great at it yet. More often than not, ChatGPT is wrong. Or someone's like, well, I did 3 different apps and I got 3 different answers. I'm like, well, there you go. Once in a while, someone's correct. So I would really encourage you to either do some research and try to hone in on what your analysis is, or finding someone in your area, or you can book with me if a virtual option. But if you're more of an in person and want to have a lot of questions, you're my feelings will not be hurt if you want to find someone locally to do your color analysis. But I guarantee there's someone in your area through. There's another company called House of Color. They've got analysts, consultants all over the country, or just someone who kind of does this on their own. So,
Is a warm autumn the same as a true autumn?
yes, warm autumn. So, same as true and cool summer, warm autumn, true autumn are the same.
What is the youngest age you would recommend for someone to have a color analysis done?
Oh my gosh. So, I've done my kids because when I was training, I needed models, and I was like, well, I've got 3 little ones running around. Um, any really the hardest part honestly for younger kids is sitting still this long. So doing my daughter at the time, she was 5, she just turned 5, she had a really hard time sitting still for like over half an hour while I did all these drapes. So I would wait maybe until 7 or 8 and they have a little bit longer attention span and might be more interested in this, or maybe they're starting to get more interested in clothing. But yeah, I mean, we absolutely can do kids. I've done young girls, and have shared online with permission from mom or not, which is fine too. It's a great mother-daughter activity. I just had a mother-daughter this weekend and they were wonderful. And it's really fun to see when families have similar colors or opposite, just wild how genetics works out.
How often do you find people need to update their hair color or their tone?
Updating hair color, I'm not sure if they're asking about like maybe when they start to go gray. I think that really it if you have a warm undertone and then you start to go gray silver, that can feel really clashing. So I think that might be a time where you might need to maybe lean into. We asked about Maddie, you asked about these hair swatches. So look, I'm going to pull them out. So maybe someone who's gray. So that client, even when I talked about who has a warm undertone, she's a warm spring, but then she had this really silver kind of gunmetal hair that like kind of really clashed with her. I recommended. I said, well, what if you asked for maybe some of these like whiter blonde highlights? And I was like, what about that? As opposed to, I don't think I do have a gray, versus like this silver, that silvery color. And so like even that silver versus ivory, I said that can really help kind of tone things and make it feel more harmonious. And I'm sorry, Sophie, what was the second part of the question about?
They said it was the hair color and tone.
I'm not sure what they mean by that. So if they want to clarify their question in the chat, please do.
Um, so it sounds you kind of answered this already. Have you analyzed your children's or your husband's colors? If so, do the five of you share colors that you tend to choose for family photos then?
Okay. Ooh, family photos. Let's talk about that. So there's two ways you can do it. You can have your family all analyze and try and all coordinate, or you as the matriarch of that family, you have everybody aligned to your colors because let's be honest, you're the one planning the photos, planning the outfits, booking the photographer, finding the location. You do what you want. You get everybody dressed in what, but that's where navy looks great on a lot of people. Um, so my husband I did do my husband on his analysis, and I have done several men. So that it's great for suits. Men absolutely can be analyzed as well. My husband has a ton of clothes that are not nearly in his color palette, and I just like to make fun of him for it now. Um, and then my children, yes. So there's my answer. If you're planning family photos, you pick what you want to wear, and you have everybody else match you.
Can you talk a little bit about neutral skin tones, those of us who aren't super warm or super cool?
Yeah, neutral skin tones. I would say you have the most flexibility out of everyone. A lot of makeup companies have gotten better about labeling, whether something's like cool neutral, warm neutral, or like a neutral beige, ivory, or whatever. And so you're going to look for that tag of neutral with like the foundation, or maybe sometimes in the description of the lipstick or the lip gloss online. Um, that really I would say you have a lot more flexibility. So if you're cool neutral, then so for example, a cool neutral would be soft summer or light summer, but then you could borrow from light spring, or soft summer can borrow from soft autumn, and that starts leaning into cool, or sorry, warm neutral. Um, but it's really just more knowledge more than anything, and that's where shopping online actually can do you a benefit, because you can read the descriptions of um, the makeup item. And some companies are really good about labeling that. Not all of them, though.
What is the main difference between spring and autumn?
Main difference between spring and autumn. Let's pull her out. We're gonna Vanna White this one. So spring is light, bright, higher contrast. So look at these really bright, fun colors. That is our spring. And here's our autumn. Whoops, there goes the hair. It's all right. Autumn is darker and muted. So you see how we have these more muted colors. Notice how there's a lot of yellow, though, a lot of yellow and orange. So that's that warm piece, but lighter and brighter for the spring, darker and more muted. So this, comparing this soft versus this warm spring, like, wow, there's a big contrast there. Like, look at these pinks. Yeah, the oranges, absolutely. So
Will my hair when I let the gray wind just naturally suit my color?
unfortunately, it might not. If when you let the gray win, oh gosh, bless you. Um, I call it the aging process, and like I'm getting grays too. It's going to happen to all of us. But I think that's where sometimes you might have to lean on your hairdresser a little bit more and have them help you out, especially if you are a warm undertone, and the hair is coming in really silver, cool gray, and it's probably it's going to make you really washed out. So, unfortunately, that's where nature does not always follow um, the guidelines. Our colorations, like God doesn't make mistakes. Like our colorations really are all in alignment. And I even down to your tooth color. I was reading about this recently. Another analyst I follow, she was showing if you have a cool undertone, the color of your teeth, versus if you have a warm undertone, the color of your teeth. Even that is in alignment. But because like my teeth almost are a little yellow, but not bad. It just matches my skin tone. If I had like this, I call it dental white. If I had a dental white teeth, that would look ridiculous. I would look like I had dentures. But if I have a cool undertone, that's going to look more harmonious. So,
And then our last question is, are there different colors within someone's season that you recommend for highlighting lips or eyes?
ooh, sorry, can you read that one more time?
Are there different colors within someone's season that you recommend for highlighting lips or eyes?
Different colors. So like I said, we didn't go into makeup tonight. We have our own in-house makeup line that is all aligned with your season, and so usually shades of a similar color. So let's talk about lip gloss for a second. If it maybe is like peachy or coral, I'm just gonna pull it out. Why not? Let's have a little show and tell here. I'm gonna pull out. Yes, will you by Vanna White? Thank you. Okay, so we've got these lip glosses here. I'm gonna pull out some of the ones that are for warm. Like, look how peachy, coral, like these all are for our warm undertones. For our cool undertones, we've got this like more mauve. It has silver specks in it. Warm undertone, you don't want silver, you want gold, something that has some gold. This peach has gold in it. I know it might be a little bit hard to, there you go. Thank you. There we go. Okay. Red, we talked about red a little bit. If you're cool undertone, you want something that's maybe a little more tomato versus something that has more of like like more of a orangey, like coral to it. So this is more of a cool one that's got some silver in it. This was like a mauve. So just like this pink, for example, it's silvery. It's like, that's a very cool pink as opposed to this one, which is here. Yes, hold on. So thank you. So we've got that cool pink versus that warm pink right there. So that is, but you want to stay within those shades of having, like, knowing if it's warm or cooler, because that's really what's going to help you with selecting makeup. That and sometimes what feels good, what feels right. I know kind of what looks good on me, and I end up buying the same color. I'll try a new brand and I'll buy a color. I'm like, oh, and then I get it in the mail, and I'm like, oh, I have this in 5 other styles of lip gloss and lipstick, because that's what looks good on me, and that's that. So I'm not a big like adventurous person with makeup. I know what looks good on me. I stick with that. So
Goodness. Well, thank you both so much. Thank you, Livy. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Sarah, everybody
thank you.
in the
Yes, thank you to
Columbus
Sarah.
satellite.
Thank you to Maddie. I know Maddie, you all have been talking in my ears, and Maddie's been sitting here so smiling so graciously, not in hearing anything of our conversation. So, but yes, thank you, Maddie, for being a wonderful model. Thank you, everyone who logged on. Feeling a lot of Kappa love tonight. My Kappa cup is very full. Thank you to headquarters staff for asking me to be a host for the Flourish series. I've attended several others. I think it's a phenomenal event that we do for our alumni. And I hope you all have a great evening, and I hope to hear from some of you at some point. So have a great night.
Thank you, everyone. Just wanted to give a quick look into what's coming up. We have our final event of July, which is our book club with Joan O'Leary at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it will be with her thriller novel, A Killer Wedding. And then in August, we'll be welcoming Jennings King for Clutter to Keepsakes. It's a digital space making on August 18th, followed by Carolyn Williams for a Feel Good Recipes on August 27th. And thank you again for everyone attending tonight. We also wanted to shout out the Kappa Kappa Gamma Foundation Historically Speaking events. Will be starting this month, also in August August 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's a wonderful opportunity to deepen your connection to the fraternity's traditions and heritage. The first one is on estate planning, and you'll find all the links to register for the upcoming Flourish events, as well as the foundation's Historically Speaking events, in the chat or on the Flourish landing page and on the Kappa website. Thank you again for spending your evening with us. Thank you so much, Livy. Thank you, Maddie. And with that,
Thank you, Sylvie. Have a wonderful evening.
thank you. Good night, sisters.
Good night.